after former Prime Minister said that the CDF is supposed to be transferred from the members of Parliament to the governors. MPs and even members of the public have decided to show the former Prime Minister fire. This is what the former Prime Minister wants, the CDF. That is already next to the common Mwana Enchi to be taken to the governors. Some of these governors have always been openly corrupt and use the county government funds and resources like their own. For instance, there is a governor who took a huge sum of county funds and used it to build houses that would be owned by him alone. There are former governors who are in prison right now because they diverted the county funds to their personal accounts. What do you think about this, guys? Would you like if CDF is taken to the governors, as proposed by Raila Odinga? Drop your comments below.
Referred to the Constitution and told me the issues like NGF and and Senate oversight in the counties is in the Constitution. I want him to cite to me the section of that Constitution that he's referring to. Because as you know, I was very involved with the Constitution. And a very famous English politician said that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I shall not defend until death your right to say it. So listen to me. Let me say it. And then you'll have a chance to come and respond. So I'm telling you, I know that sometimes the truth is very bitter. I was there, and we discussed with the Karue when he was moving around to bring the CDF. The CDF was brought because of circumstances that were prevailing at that time. In those days, with a centralized system of government, there were very little resources which are going down to the counties. And that's the reason why the Harambee became the major ways of mobilizing resources. Sometimes you find nearly 100 cards in your desk for Harambees here and there. Whenever the president moved around, he would go around to counties, to the districts, and then we'll be addressing people. People will come up to tell them their problems. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu barabara ni mbaya sana, haipitiki, mvua ikinyesha kuna matope, barabara haipitiki. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu shule yetu hapa, juzi mvua ilinyesha na upepo kaja katoa paa, watoto sasa wanasoma chini ya mti hapa. Mtukufu Rais, hapa kwetu hakuna maji. Mtukufu Rais, hatuna stima na kadhalika. When he stands to respond, he say, "Ni mnasema barabara ni mbaya. Mnasema hospitali hakuna dawa. Mnasema upepo imechukua paa ya nyumba. Mjumbe wenu anafanya nini?" Yeye anapiga tu kelele kule kwa bunge. Anapiga tu kelele kwa bunge, hajali mambo ya maendeleo kwake. Kwa hiyo mimi nitatumia mtu kuja kufanya harambee. Lakini leo mimi nitatoa pesa ya kujenga hiyo shule. Kujenga hiyo nyumba. Nitatoa pesa na kadhalika. That was the end of it. So the MP was the one who was being blamed for the failure of the national government to do certain things in their constituency. And that's the reason why we came up with the idea of CDF. That was at that time. Exactly that was that time. But then the constituency is now falls under the devolved government, which is being led by the governors. So constituency is not a devolved unit. And members of parliament themselves should not be involved in development because there's supposed to be oversighting. There's supposed to be oversighting. If you have yourself being involved in construction of roads, building of schools, hospitals, who is going to oversight you? who's oversighting you? So, Mr. President, I hold very clearly that these MPs know that they should not have any business in trying to implement projects in their constituency. Implementation of projects should be left to the county government. Secondly, the oversight, the national parliament oversight the national government, whether it is the National Assembly or the Senate. Oversighting of governors, the responsibility of MCAs, members of the county assembly, not the senators. It's not the responsibility of the Senate to oversight. Senate wasting time of governors to come and answer questions about roads in the counties. And thirdly, the issue of extortion. The issues of extortion. The issues of extortion. Majority Leader, you talked of, you didn't talk of extortion, you talked of lobbying. Lobbying is okay. In the US, you've got lobby firms which have formed to lobby the members of the Congress. They come to lobby, they're known, they're officially registered as lobbyists. They come to lobby the members of parliament. But lobbying is a different thing from extortion. From extortion. That you have a member, every committee has got a member who is how do you call him? Welfare. Welfare Bungi is giving a very, very image of Parliament, that members of Parliament should not be soliciting funds from because you see, listen to me, you know, the environment that we are creating here in this country is very, very hostile to investments. Foreign investors who come to the country bring their resources in the country to invest it here. And when they bring their resources, when they find there's too much bureaucracy and there's too much extortion, they run away. Private capital is risk shy. Risk shy. And when, for example, somebody has come with his resources to start a project, and then you find somebody beginning to make noise that, oh, this project has not been approved. This project has not been approved. Or this project is being corruptly implemented. They run away. They run away. And delaying of the projects. And you find a situation where members of parliament inviting parastatals and so on, and even purporting to be cancelling projects that have been signed. That is the work of the executive, not the work of the legislature. So the legislature should not be competing with the executive in terms of implementation of projects. Allow the executive to implement and just correct them when they go wrong. That's if the country will develop. Create a healthy environment for implementation of projects in the country. Then this country will develop. I know I'm being too honest with you people. And I know that the facts, the truth sometimes is so painful, but I think it is important to say this to honorable members of parliament. Thank you very much. May I now invite my brother to come and address you people. I'm charged, but I'm not scared. You know, I've been a member of parliament for this constituency for 20 years. And I used to meet with members of parliament. I was a prime minister. And every Wednesday was a prime minister's question time in parliament. I used to be harassed a lot by members of parliament. And that's why I'm not scared. But let me begin to say that none of us thought a day would come when protagonists just a year ago would get together to chart a joint way forward for this country.
Are we there? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a bit cold here in Nairobi, but I've just heard what Raila has just said. And, okay, I'm not interested because I'm going for presidency. But I want to correct Raila. I want to remind Raila and maybe anyone else who might think, first of all, we must ask ourselves, what is the budget of this country? The only money that goes to the people on the ground is about the 2% of the budget, which is now about that money for the CDF. Well, how does the CDF operate? We, the members of parliament, we are not involved in issues to do with the budget. Budget has already been fixed by the number of the wards that you have. Like for my case, I received the list about like 161 million. Now, this money is being operated by what we call the CDF committee. And in that CDF committee, it's led by the DCC. Is it DCC? We have the accountant. There is one accountant. There's the fund manager who is appointed from the CDF body from Nairobi. Then there are community, like about 4 members of committee, like 5. So it comes around like 9 people or so. So now these people, what they normally do, they sit down and there's a time for proposal. So they walk around, take the proposals from the schools, from TTI, and also me also being a member of parliament. That is the point that I can also come in and also give the opinion, like maybe this is plus what the people will have said. And then now those proposals, they get to Nairobi. Once they get to be approved. Each project is approved by the CDF board that has professionals, has the engineers, the architects, and everyone that is there and does. And even the project you are giving, it must align. It must align in terms of financing it. It must be within, and also in terms of the cost of the project plus that one. So how does the MP come in? That is where now the question that I need to ask Raila Odinga. MP comes in, we take pride because as we can also give opinion of what is happening there. Now, when it happens like that, you are sure as a member of parliament that even as I oppose or do the oversight in the government, is the same way I'm sure that I'm not going to be not to receive development in my constituency. It brings more independency in terms of, but now Raila thinks that person DOE, MP, and an I. It's just the same way that money is oversighted by the Auditor General, is oversighted by the CDF board. It is also oversighted by the parliament, because the report has to come there, like any other thing. So if you oppose something that is benefiting directly to the people, then it means that you have no heart for the people. It means that you mean, in fact, more money should remain at the MCS ward level, should have the management of the money, so that we make sure that there is development going down to the people. In fact, when we remove this money from the constituency level, it goes to the county level. It means we are centralizing this money, we are removing it from the people. And that is why there is that nini called the MCS ward fund or whatever. And it makes people, even them, to also to do oversight, knowing that governor will not look at them as their enemy. and not give them development. So I think Raila needs to get the concept, Kenya needs to get the concept, and all that. Until we devolve all the functions of national government, we are not saying it's bad, but we devolve those functions. Like who's going to build the TTIs, who's going to build the KMTCs, who's going to build the chief officers, the police post officers. There is water also in the schools. There is maybe the bursary. If now we are talking about we have not brought the free primary education, secondary and university. Who is all going to do all these projects that we are talking about? Raila, I think you have a problem. It's time for you to just leave the stage and do your things. Thank you so much.